Hi everyone, this is the beginning of my entry for what do I eat in one day, and I'm doing this as a request to support people who have trouble with eating. Today I start with some agave syrup in my coffee mug, and that is from Whole Foods generic brand agave syrup. I put about this much in my coffee mug, and then I usually put half and half in there. I usually use organic, but I've run out, so I'm going to use my child's whole milk that we have in here, this mini fridge in the room off my bedroom. And so I'm going to put in some whole milk. And my coffee maker is currently making me some coffee. I noticed that if I don't use half and half, if I use whole milk, I have to add a little more to get my coffee to be creamy like I like it. I'm drinking decaf coffee. I try to get organic because I heard that coffee has a lot of there's issues with coffee as far as not having organic. So I believe this is organic, but it's Rainforest Alliance. I do drink organic coffee for the last probably 6 months because I had issues with my stomach where my doctor said that having decaf instead of regular coffee would definitely help because caffeine was one of the irritants that was on my stomach. So first I'm having this decaf coffee once it's finished, and then I will let you know what I have next. Next, what I'm going to eat is I'm going to drink some of this Good Belly probiotic tropical green juice drink. You've probably heard of this before. I'm just going to take a couple swallows of it. Okay, so I did that. I try to do that in the morning because I don't always get my probiotic yogurt every single day. I try to though. So here I'm pouring my decaf coffee in here. I usually just have 1 cup in the morning at all. And then, let's see, I'm going to put this back in the fridge. Good Belly. Okay. So next, what I eat is my mom makes me a smoothie. She actually makes a smoothie for me, my husband, my son, and whoever else here wants one. She also has some herself. She uses the Vitamix blender because it's super powerful. And these are the ingredients I believe she usually puts into it. Whole strawberries, frozen, because it keeps it cold. She also buys bananas, whole organic bananas when they're on sale, and she freezes them. She peels them and freezes them because I know if you refrigerate bananas, they turn black, and I'm not sure whether it changes the flavor or not. It probably doesn't, but so she doesn't refrigerate them. She does that and freeze them. Then we've got celery, organic celery. We try to get celery hearts because I think they have more nutrients in them, and they do add a really nice flavor to it. This smoothie she made for me yesterday, and we had it in the fridge because she made a little extra, so I'm having it today. This one has some red beet in it, raw red beet. So that's why she needs this powerful mixer because we don't juice any of it. We eat the whole thing, including the fiber. Then often she'll buy this baby kale. Sometimes we'll have regular kale, but this is really convenient and for really quickly making these smoothies, I think it's pretty good. I don't know whether baby kale has less nutrient value than regular kale, but I know nutrient value for doesn't say it on the back, but kale is super nutrient dense. And then I have her use a scoop or so of the 100% whey protein. And then we also use almond butter just to kind of make it more proteiny with the nuts, but we're getting, something different than peanut butter, even though that's expensive there. Nutritional yeast. I'm not sure whether my mom puts this in or not, but I got this out of the cupboard because I had it up there. So sometimes we use that, sometimes we don't, but we do like to use that on popcorn when we do. We also found these cool containers because she used to put it in a glass, our smoothies, and then put like a saran wrap over top. But I saw these at Whole Foods, and they have a really good seal lid on here design, and then you really press it down to get it to click, and then you can also carry it around by this loop. We got a color for each of us so that she can put it in the fridge, and then it really kind of retains the nutrient value a lot better because there's not as much oxidation. So the reason I have so much liquid stuff in the morning, first thing for breakfast, and that is because my mouth is really dry and I need to hydrate when I wake up. And so things go down a lot easier if they're more moist. This is something I'll probably have later today, probably around 11 a.m. I like the chocolate flavor of the brown cow whole milk yogurt, cream top. So the reason we're doing whole milk yogurt right now is just because we were getting tired of the Greek yogurt. We were getting tired of some of the low fat yogurts, and so we just decided to do this for a change. It's better to eat yogurt than to get tired of all the ones that you think are acceptable. So we're doing whole milk, and we're even having chocolate sometimes. So that's so far. So here I am at work. I wanted to give you some audio commentary for the video that I recorded this morning about the food that I packed for work. I was recording it and I had to cut out the audio on it because I had some family making a lot of noise in the house, and I wanted to just not have that, and I couldn't figure out how to record audio over to do it in the YouTube editor and all that. So I'm not sure. I think I'm going to do this video and then maybe put it together with that. I was really giving you like a glance at the food that I made for breakfast and packed for lunch, and I also gave you a glance at the recipe book that my mom made this thing called baked oatmeal in. So I'll give you a glance at that, but there probably won't be any audio for it on this video. And then also she made some Dutch baby pancake, and I give you a glance at the recipe book that she got that out of, and I'm eating that right now. She made it for breakfast yesterday. So the Dutch baby is there, the yellow, and then the thing that my spoon is on, that is the baked oatmeal that my mom adds chocolate chips to it. So I'm having it for kind of a mid-afternoon snack right now at work. It's 2:55, so 3 p.m. I also had the half of an avocado that I packed earlier today. You might see that on some of the video. Let's see what else. So after I had my smoothie that I showed you, I ate a double fiber or wheat English muffin. And gosh, what am I doing here? I'm trying to show you how I packed it in this KFC container that my mom saved, and I'm hoping that it's BPA free. We don't microwave in it, but still, we kind of saved these from like literally 2 summers ago, and we're still using them. Let's see. So I put the or wheat English muffin in there, and I put it in the toaster because we keep it in the refrigerator. And then I put some coconut oil on it instead of butter. I just prefer to use coconut oil. So I used that, and I had that after my smoothie this morning. So And then I'll show you what I have for my lunch here at work. I usually keep some stuff here in my drawer that I can make. All right, so this is my drawer here at work. And I've got these things in it. I've got these noodle bowls that I can mix with water and heat in the microwave, and they're actually really good. The nutritional content is pretty good on there. So here I am at work. I'm trying to handhold this without messing up the audio, so I really apologize if it's not great. I'm having some tea, but I wanted to show you that we reuse these containers like I showed you before. This is a KFC container with a lid. It's held up really well even though we put it in the dishwasher on the top rack. We've had it since 2 summers ago, like I said before. These are really great containers that we get with, I think, one of the sandwich meats. And it's just that Fred Meyer, it's a bit regular brand, and we reuse these. And these are great containers, even though we have Tupperware, we have Rekts, but we have found that we like these a lot. They're lightweight, and we use them for quite a while before we decide to recycle them. We can recycle them. If we can at curbside, then we can take it to Whole Foods, and they have this category called crunchy plastic that they can that you can put most kinds of plastic things in it. I keep this straw cup here at work. I keep it in the refrigerator. We have a mini fridge, and I always have it filled up with water in the mini fridge, so when I get here I have cold water I can keep next to me when I'm working. I also have this lovely cup like by the company La Creuset, whatever, French company. I don't know how to pronounce French. This tea I'm having right now, it's called Bedtime, but it's not going to make me go to sleep. I just like bedtime types tea because they have like some good spearmint usually in them. This one also has licorice root and chamomile, which chamomile isn't all that sedating for me at all. But the spearmint I really like a lot. So it's got a nice flavor. It's got a nice mint flavor that's not overly mentholy. So I'm having a cup of tea. I could put some agave syrup or some honey in it, but I'm choosing not to. The honey here has the crystals in it right now, and I just thought, you know, I'm just going to do it like this. So sometimes it's less trouble. I wanted to show you how I have to wash out my containers to take them home and recycle. A couple years ago I was told that here at work we don't have recycling except for paper and, you know, confidential shredded paper special stuff, but not like plastic kind of recycling. I don't know if that's still true or not. I don't like to go in the basement. So but I have to take my plastic home to recycle. So, and I'm not sure if this is recyclable too, but a lot of times I do put this in the paper recycling. I have this because this is a treat for me, cinnamon tea tree, cinnamon tea tree toothpicks, and these are very strong with the cinnamon, and a lot of times I get breakouts on the corner of my mouth if I use them. So I have to stick with the just plain old tea tree ones, but lately I've been getting these and using them, and they haven't made me break out in the corners of my mouth, so I'm excited. Maybe they've toned down the amount of cinnamon oil that they use in this. I'll tell you, because I get these at Whole Foods, but they have them at other health food places too. Birch wood infused with cinnamon, tea tree oil, and menthol, contains approximately 100, and you see they've got this cool little shape to these, and I have these in my car. I have them in various places around because it's a little treat for me to have, is take one out and like start chewing on it and maybe cleaning my teeth very gently with them around the gum line. Definitely doesn't take the place of flossing. I'm pretty sure my dentist would say that, but anything that goes around the gum line that disrupts the bacteria or the plaque or that want to create little colonies around your mouth, around your gum line. Anything that disrupts that is good, according to my dentist. It's not so much about getting the food out, it's about disrupting the colonies that keep wanting to set up shop in your mouth. Okay, so for what I had for dinner tonight, my mom made some purchased soup, Campbell's slow kettle style soup, and it's Tuscan style chicken and white bean soup. Also, what we had for dinner was some fried rice that she made. I had very small portion because it was leftovers and a glass of milk. Also, after that, I had a slice of leftover pizza that she made last night from a whole wheat crust dough that she bought at Whole Foods that was ready made, because usually I make the pizza crust for my mom, but I wanted her to save time because she didn't have much time yesterday, so I asked her to buy a pre-made pizza crust and then roll it out and make it. Then she put fresh mozzarella on it, prosciutto, some olives, Kalamata olives, baby kale on the pizza, and probably regular mozzarella and some mushrooms. And then she put Italian seasoning on there tonight. So that is what the piece is on the plate that you will see. It's a piece of pizza. So I was wondering to myself, is this a typical day for me as far as what I eat in one day? I just saw the video this morning, the very first time ever, as far as the video that inspired this. It's got a hashtag, so you'll see it there, and I'll link it. I'll link it at the bottom of this because I don't want to go too much into the reasons why the person asked people to do this exercise, because I'm going to leave that to that person. But I did do today, just specifically today, a somewhat randomly selected day. I don't eat quite this well all the time. I think this was a particularly good day. I think sometimes I don't eat as much as I did today. And I'm not very good about packing my lunch for work. I ended up working a long day today, and so I packed more than I usually do. And so, I mean, as far as like typical, I would say sometimes I eat less healthy, you know, and I might have a late night snack tonight too. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I have trail mix that we buy at Whole Foods, and it has usually some chocolate bits in it and some dried fruit and nuts. So I might have some of that later on tonight. So what I'll say about this exercise as far as what I eat in a day, I've seen these kinds of things before on YouTube, and I didn't really understand the purpose of it. I didn't know if there was a purpose for it. I've actually always found this kind of video very boring, so I usually steer clear. That these people that are, you know, showing just in general what they eat in a day, it seems like it just seems too perfect, you know, like if you're showing what you eat in a day, then it's suspicious to me that you wouldn't be kind of changing it a little to show people that you are healthier than they are or whatever. And I didn't want to do that. So I was resistant to this exercise before when I didn't really understand the point of it. When I saw this man's video below here, where he talks about how he is very concerned for this woman who is she does a lot of YouTube videos. She's really smart and she's very creative and she's got a ton of energy. But this man who put out this challenge to make videos for people to make videos about what they eat, he is very concerned about this woman. I honestly think he really is concerned about her, that she is extremely, extremely in serious danger. She has anorexia. It looks like it. I mean, I can't diagnose it, but it looks like it has to be. It can't be, even if it's not anorexia, even if it's a medical condition where she is very, very emaciated, her doctor would be telling her to gain weight. I'm pretty sure, for the most part, even if it was not anorexia, even if it was another medical condition. So her doctor's saying that she's just fine the way she is, and that's what she says in her videos that I've watched. I think he's right in that, you know, show us like that this is really healthy, that your doctor really says that this is healthy, because he isn't buying it. And this isn't my style. I don't call people out on things like that. But, you know, I haven't been paying attention to her. I think she's probably pretty popular and maybe he's paying attention to this. I don't pay attention to a lot of things on YouTube. But, you know, if she's having an impact on other people and she's in denial that she has a problem with her weight and she literally could die any minute. Like, I've seen people die who weighed more than she does, and I've seen them die from anorexia. So an eating disorder is very serious, and I have a medical background and I've taken some classes on this, and I know that anorexia is a mental disorder that develops, and I don't really understand all of the ways that it develops, but I do know that it just changes your perception and your image and of your own body image and the way that you think. And that once you have anorexia, I believe you always have it, meaning like you're always in recovery from it, even if you gain weight and start eating healthier and you start, you know, having a good weight on you. It's kind of like once you've been a heroin addict, I've heard you always have the tendency to fall and relapse. And I think that's the case for an eating disorder as well. And another thing that I know about anorexia specifically, probably the same can be said for like bulimia and some of the other eating disorders that have to do with with starving your body, is that if you don't have enough protein and if your body is depleting its own muscle mass, it's breaking down muscle in order to make energy, because you're not taking in enough food energy to sustain your body's just basic metabolism, let alone functions, and let alone all the rest of your activity. Your body will start to break down your muscle. And the most important muscle that I can think of in your body is your heart. It's all muscle, heart muscle. And it's the reason people die most likely from anorexia is because their heart muscle has been deteriorated so much. Their body has gone in there and taken that heart muscle and broken it down to make energy to survive. And their heart muscle is being damaged. When you see no muscle on their bodies and no fat and that, will imagine their heart, you know, because their body is going in there to try and break that down and, you know, chip away at it. And that's why people with anorexia die from anorexia. It's not that they die because they are going to fall over from not having food specifically. Their heart can't handle it anymore because their heart has to pump their blood throughout their whole body. It's a very important muscle. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit emotional about this now, talking about this. So when a person is on YouTube or in the public eye, however, and they project themselves out there as extremely thin, that's fine. You know, you're thin. That's your way your body's made, whatever. Or overweight, however that is. But to the extent that this woman is emaciated and she is not speaking about it in terms of a medical condition, people are making comments that they either think either they have anorexia and they say even that's too thin for them, for their goal, to be their goal, or they are saying that they're admiring that, and it's something that people are triggered by in a way that people could be looking to her as someone that they want to look like. And that's not people like who are mentally healthy. That's people who have anorexia or are tending towards that. And there are a lot of things in people's lives that contribute that, you know, make it more likely that they will develop an eating disorder. And there are people that are vulnerable to that. I know some young ladies who are vulnerable to it, and I have done, you know, internships with adolescent programs where girls were needing to have a feeding tube down their nose because they would refuse to eat. And until they brought their weight up, their doctor said they had to have the feeding tube in. And so they were walking around the hospital or the outpatient program, but usually they were in the hospital if they had a feeding tube down their nose. But so to put yourself out there and romanticize, not intentionally, but people do romanticize it, it's dangerous. And I think that's what the message is here, is that she's a lovely person. She's an extremely lovely person. And I would never, ever want to break her down and bring her down and say things about her that weren't fair. But I think this man is challenging her to please come out and say what it is, what medical condition is it that explains how emaciated you are. We believe it's probably anorexia because of the way that you're presenting and the way that you're in denial. But if it's not, I would say, this is what I would add, if it's not anorexia, then please disclose to us what it is. What is the medical explanation for this, so that we can make sense of it, so that there are people out there that are looking at you and admiring this, wanting to be this thin, and it may be triggering them into their own eating disorder that they're already partially into. And I think that's the message. That's what I'm saying. And I feel very strongly about eating disorders. I think once you, there is a slippery slope, but once you are down into it, it's going to keep coming back at times in your life when you feel out of control, or when you feel like you need to have some more control. It will probably relapse. So that's why I think that it's important to catch it early for people, young women. And so young women are probably very much paying attention to her YouTube channel and watching her. And I think it would be important for people to see, you know, this is someone you're admiring. Please share with us the explanation for this, because show us that this isn't normal, healthy weight. And it's not like people have an obligation to share all of their medical conditions. But when it comes to this person, with the extreme, you know, the extremeness of it, I would say yes, I agree. I agree. Please share. Please share an explanation for why medically this is happening. Why do you look this way? Because if it's not anorexia, we want to know. And just tell us, please, because you're on YouTube, so you don't have to disclose everything, but I think it would be helpful to young women and young men too, to know. So that's what I have to say.